The following video is intended to be fun and academically rigorous. Please dust off your thinking caps and prepare for a short ride through the presentation.
In this video, we will address our process from conception to completion for the Future Directions module. Our elective for this module is the Festival of Futures, which entailed working with the community brain and Kingston community. From our individual ideas to our collective goal, we encapsulated each other's objectives and observations. We crossed disciplinary boundaries by interacting with the nonprofit organization, community volunteers, local primary school children, our peers, Kingston Museum staff, and other citizens.
Drawing upon various resources and research, we experimented with diverse hybrid approaches to creation and thought. We integrated elements from different contexts, methods, and philosophies. We incorporated insights from hidden facts, folklore, and envisioning potential futures for Kingston. As we stand on the verge of unveiling our collective brainchild, we want to remember our collective experience through this journey.
At the beginning of this module, we were given the topic of future direction, where the concept of speculative future thinking was introduced. This module has been an exciting ride through the challenges. The goal was to define roles that hadn't been created yet. During the first week of teaching, we were asked to read Ramya Maz's short essay called Politics of Designing Visions of the Future, with a thought-provoking lesson that design shapes the future through reproduction cycles. It's always been helpful for me to read back through the assets while recalibrating myself. We started this module with the classic method of mapping. In the week between teaching week 1 and teaching week 2, individual contributions were made as we dived into the project. When working within a team, learning through making is an important component of any project-based practices. Each member conducted independent research and prepared materials for the collective group. This approach proved effective in expediting our research-based strategy. Embracing my teammates' research and actively contributing to the collective effort was a unique experience that yielded valuable insights. As we moved to the next stages, we engaged in discussions with our peers, exploring ideas and contemplating improvements for the festival's future aspect. Taking a leap of imagination, my initial concept centered around an interactive booth showcasing Kingston's people to a future audience. However, a conversation with Becky helped me come up with more research-backed ideas. Through extensive brainstorming and microfeedback on the research, I refined the concept further. This led to the idea of a playground projecting real-time Tetris, allowing children to engage outdoors interactively instead of being confined to their rooms. Upon settling on a promising concept, we consulted our tutors as the project transitioned from an individual endeavor to a collaborative effort. Becky highlighted Prachi's parallel work on similar lines, prompting us to join forces. Collaborating with Prachi and Allison, we created a theme involving children's drawing projected onto the walls using crafty sounds created by kids. This collaborative experience showcased a substantial learning curve, recognizing that ideas, when loosely held, can be enhanced by incorporating others' perspectives. This learning significantly influenced my work ethic. The synergy of combining diverse ideas into a cohesive whole made a profound impact on how I approached the project.
For week 2, I read Ramya Maz's article. It inspired me to consider the future of social and cultural portions of society. I kept that in consideration as we met with a community brain where they stated that everyone can be brilliant if they are given the support and encouragement. This statement echoed themes that social and cultural practices matter for communities' value and future. I was intrigued by Kingston's music history and rich storytelling. Therefore, most of my initial research, class discussions, brainstorms, and ideas coalesced around the theme of music and future third spaces. As time progressed, we were divided into teams, but nobody else wanted to do music. I had to problem solve quickly and pivot, so I partnered with Prachi and Isha. Their project would partner with a local school for art to tell myths about Kingston's future. To continue my process around local stories, I evolved my topic to merge with children and myths. I also advocated for myself by still including a sound element, by suggesting that children should also create sounds and music for their creatures. I also created the initial questions and worksheets. I made sure that they were child-friendly by testing them on my friends' kids. We continued our quantitative research by interviewing locals at Kingston Museum. I found it helpful to interview locals at the museum because the past stories impact the future. Attending meetings for the Seeding Festival at the Lamb provided further locals insight because we learned about the myth of Leffy, the goat. In week 6, we learned about a designer's models and methods, which made me think more about the techniques I use and how I will incorporate them into my personal practice. In terms of group communication, we learned the importance on speaking succinctly, not making assumptions, and reiterating everything at the end. Eventually, we were able to gain a rhythm by using Miro boards, online meetings, and shared drive documents. I found that group members all have unique processes and different time management skills, but I continue to push for schedule and deadlines. We eventually agreed that project management is the best way to respect one another's time. We began to get a rhythm towards the end of the project when we could work independently and together when doing brainstorms or creating in the studio. As a group, I found that we excelled best at relationship building.
Upon grasping the brief and engaging in face-to-face discussions with the community brain at Fusebox and the Lamb, fascinating conversations and untold stories about Kingston surfaced. This sparked my exploration process, leading me to observe both spaces and people in my daily routine. The directive to conduct individual research and share findings swiftly proved an effective method for gaining insights into various discoveries. While I dwelled into the history of sculptures in Kingston, other areas were simultaneously explored, marking a collaborative effort that became a rich starting point for generating diverse ideas and insights. In the following weeks, I set out to redefine the notion of the present, drawing inspiration from one of the projects by Fieldwork Facility, contemplating the appearance of future toys, and exploring ways to manipulate myths and history to shape the future became focal points of my exploration. Engaging in discussions with peers and professors helped redefine my thoughts and provided direction. The initial concept aimed to narrate unheard stories about Kingston's culture from locals, complemented by visual cues from children depicting their visions of future beasts. The proposal involved placing life-size inflatables in various Kingston locations to engage with the audience. Feedback from Miss Betty and Miss Barkey prompted a refinement, emphasizing the importance of first interviewing locals to understand existing generational stories and their expectations for the future. This premise seemed intriguing to develop, and by now, the project had evolved from an individual pursuit to a collective undertaking as our visions converged. As a team, we visited Kingston's museum, learned about the past, interviewed locals and neighbors, and extensively brainstormed on refining the idea into a socially engaging art form. This gave birth to Myths of Tomorrow, centered around creatures from the future revealing stories of the past. Ideas from teammates such as project mapping and creating an immersive auditory experience broadened my vision. This collaborative effort, along with insights from other groups and their proposals and discussions about their views on our presentation, significantly enriched my knowledge. Feedback from Dr. Kathy Gale and the community brain provided an opportunity to further elevate our proposal. The collective efforts and insights gained throughout this process underscore the dynamic and evolving nature of our creative endeavors.
Overall, in this project, I learned how to effectively collaborate, build relationships, while still advocating for myself and being more vocal. This enhanced my understanding of group dynamics and creative synergy. Teamwork has helped me hone my skills. Prachi taught me how to be zen and let the pendulum flow naturally. Allison taught me how to organize notes meticulously. The key to this collaboration was mutual understanding and excitement about the topic. We managed to achieve such a pragmatic outcome by combining our efforts. I realized my strength lies in responding to new and complex ideas through real world case studies. It takes everyone's contribution to build a team. Considering each idea equally, while we couldn't implement all of them, we tried amalgamating bits of most into one. There are two sides to the coin, so any decision made is valued. It was a fascinating learning curve, bespoke lessons through real life experiences.
Over the past 8 weeks, I learned both individually and as a group the importance of communicating succinctly. I also sharpened my skills at advocating for myself and at problem solving in real-time situations. From Isha, I learned the value of embracing playfulness and creativity at all steps of a group project. From Prachi, I learned the value of listening, patience, and shepherding the group back to the task at hand. As a group, I believe our team, Myths of Tomorrow, was the most vital when it came to relationship building. We all enjoy collaboration, cooperation, and develop shared goals quickly. We were happy to provide support to one another when one person might be confused. Because we had mutual respect and eventually worked out the kinks of maintaining clear communication and straightforward project management, we were able to establish trust. Overall, I found that we were highly effective at establishing, maintaining, and growing our relationship building skill set.
In conclusion, this module for me centered on challenging present parameters, groundwork, collaboration, self-efficacy, and embracing diverse perspectives. Highlights included interviewing Kingstonians, engaging with neighbors, being a part of the Seething Well Festival, and trying to approach children help envision the future. Initially challenging, the experience became enjoyable with a fantastic team. Isha's enthusiasm and experimental approach, along with Allison's organizational skills and erudition, added excitement and ease to the process. Despite contrasting personalities, our dynamics proved complementary. Overall, this elective was more compelling due to its non-commercial focus, a departure from my previous project experiences. The emphasis on relationship building, project management, and fostering connections among people and within the community made the experience particularly memorable and impactful.